I've gotten questions like, um, where is the baby? Or who did you leave the baby with? Or where did you leave the baby? And what that insinuates is that since you're out there enjoying life, it means that you're a bad mom. And I think it's high time that we change the narratives. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nancy, and if you're new here, you're welcome. This is a platform where I get to share my life experiences and also share with you guys some of the lessons that I've learned throughout that journey. So if this is something that relates to you, stay tuned for more content. And for those of you that are not new, thank you so much guys for your consistent support. I really appreciate. Remember to subscribe to my channel, to give this video a thumbs up, and also to drop me a comment down below. It really makes me happy to read your comments and just to to get that feedback from you guys. So for today's topic, I started to go with it because I think recently I've noticed that each time I've been out, like each time I'm out with either my friends, family, or my husband, I've gotten questions like, where is the baby? Or who did you leave the baby with? Or where did you leave the baby? And what that insinuates is that since you're out there enjoying life, it means that you're a bad mom. You've dumped your baby somewhere, you've neglected your baby, and you're just out here living life. And what that seems like to people is that I'm a bad mom, And even though people don't say it directly, but I mean, those questions, I've gotten them over and over again. And I've just concluded to say, oh, so now, like, me having like time out for myself and my friends and just maybe family members, it automatically means that I'm a bad mom. And so I started to come up this topic just to talk about the stereotypes around motherhood, and I think it's high time that we change the narratives as individuals and as a society, because it's unfair that we place such my tag keeps showing. It's unfair that we place such high expectations on mothers. First of all, I want to mention that I love being a mother. I love being a mom. I love my son. Let me just put it out there. And I think being a mom is beautiful. I think for mothers out there, they can relate with me. And I'm really thankful to God for this blessing in my life. So I just wanted to put it out there that I love being a mother. So if you think that because I'm out there, enjoying myself, having some time to myself, having some time for my friends, then it means I'm a bad mom. It's high time that you stop thinking like that. Nevertheless, people will think what they need to think, but I just personally feel that I needed to put it out there, to address some of the stereotypes that that we as a society have towards mothers. I also want to acknowledge that motherhood is something that changes you as an individual. It definitely changed me. You can't remain the same, because you're not just on your own now. Like, you have a baby on your side. Like, you have a child with you. You have a responsibility that you need to bear every day. So motherhood is something that changes you. And motherhood is something that forces us to realign our priorities in life. It challenges us to also identify things that really matter in life, because at the end of the day, not everything does. I think motherhood helps us to also to start living intentionally. You start creating time for people that you love, because you don't have much time on your hands. So I think motherhood is something that really just transforms your life. You can't remain the same. You can't just remain the same. You change as an individual. And I think the changes of being a mother are noticeable. I think that's a reason why people tend to ask questions like, where did you leave the baby? Simply because you're out there alone, and you've left your baby, and so you're kind of trying to run away from an identity that you are a mom. And I think that's not always the case. I mean, you can't there are places where you can take a baby, and also there are places where you can't take a baby, and sometimes you just need to be in those adult places, adult chilling places with your friends. So you can't always just be in play parks with your baby and stuff like that. No, you need to have time out for yourself. And another thing that I want to mention in addressing the stereotypes around motherhood is that you need help. You raising a child is not something that you can do alone. You need help. I have help. No wonder you see me out there. It's not that I've dumped my baby wherever in the dumpster or whatever. I know that I'm 100% sure that whenever I take some time out, I know for sure that my baby is in safe hands. I have help. I have help of the family. I have help of I have a helper and stuff like that. And I think that as mothers, you need help. You can't have it any other way. You need the help of a nanny, a helper, or just simply family members. And I think as Africans, we try to pretend as though we don't need help, as though we are super women, we can do it all. But that's not true. I mean, part of the reason why our parents had so many kids, had so many children, is so that the older siblings could babysit the younger ones. That's just a known fact. Or part of the reason why, in African family setups, we tend to have room for other extended family members in our homes, simply because we want those people to help out with either babysitting or with the house chores. It's not that we never get help. So sis, if you're worried about people calling you lazy, people calling you all sorts of names simply because you have help, please do get help. You need all the help that you can get. And I think another point that I want to mention here is that gone are the days for the strong women mentality. It's undoable, it's unrealistic. And I think as a society, it's unfair that we place such high expectations on mothers. We expect mothers to behave a certain way. We expect mothers to dress a certain way. We expect mothers to be with their baby all the time. Then those ones are God mothers. I mean, come on. Such expectations are just unattainable, unrealistic, and undoable. And if you're someone out there trying to live up to society's expectations, trying to suppress yourself, try not to live your life because you want to appear as an ideal mother according to the standards of society, sis, you're wasting time. You're simply wasting time. Go out there and live your life. Motherhood is a lifetime commitment. There will never come a time when you stop being a mother. There are things in life that end, friendships end, relationships end, but motherhood, you and your baby, you will be together forever as long as God gives you that breath of life. So motherhood is a lifetime commitment. So for those mothers out there that are waiting for that time, when that child grows up, the fact is you will never stop mothering your child. That child will always be in your life, and in your eyes, even those of us who have parents, even up to now as adults, our parents still look at us as children. And I know there are others out there who can relate, and they look at us as children and also try to treat us as children. And sometimes you have to remind them, I'm an adult, I'm eligible to make my own decisions, I can take care of myself. You have to constantly remind your parents of that fact. So I think what I'm trying to say is, if you're a mother out there, you will never stop mothering your child. So that time that you're waiting for, when you have more time, when when you have less responsibilities, in order for you to go out, sis, stop waiting and start living life. Because life is now. Life is not what you haven't seen. Life is not what's ahead. Like, life is in the here and now. The other just on that strong women mentality, I think as women, we also need to prioritize our mental health. We need time for rest, refreshment, and reset. I think, this, as women, this facade that we try, especially as African women, we try to put up this facade that we are strong, we are super women. I mean, sis, you break, just be yourself. You understand yourself better. How far your strength can go. And when you feel tired, mentally tired or physically tired or emotionally tired, find time for rest, for refreshment, and reset. I think for me, part of the reason why I do go out to hang out with my friends or just take myself out on a date is so that I can rest, I can refresh myself, and also reset my brain, because you can go mad. Motherhood is not for the faint-hearted. You can go mad. And the other point that I want to mention here is that, as mothers, in as much as you're a mother, you also have other identities that places demands on you. As a mother, you're not just a mother, you're also a wife, you're also a sister, you're also a daughter, you're a friend. You're an employee. We have all these other identities, that define us as women. So we are not just mothers, and it's so unfair that society places such unrealistic expectations on women, on mothers, on wives, which are at the end of the day unattainable and undoable. And so it's important for us as mothers to also honor those other identities that we have. I have friends. Because I'm a mother, I can't just stay indoors and wait to see my friends when my son grows up. I mean, life is now, like I mentioned previously. Some things are just not even some things don't even just deserve my energy to talk about, because at the end of the day, we know ourselves. We know things that we can do, we can manage to do, and things that we can't manage to do. So if you want to be a goody and stop living life and just consume yourself in the motherhood role, I think I think to me, you are injuring yourself, you are injuring your mental health, you are injuring your physical health, because you are not just a mother. You also have all these other identities that require your time and your energy. Lastly, I want to mention that it really takes a village to raise a child. And I think part of the reason why our ancestors coined this phrase is that they realized that indeed raising a child, you can't do it alone. You need help, from your neighbors, from family members, help of a nanny, like I mentioned, help from a helper. And I think that growing up, us who grew up with neighbors, I know, like, for most of you out there, you don't know what it means to live with neighbors. These days, the way that life has become, you can have a neighbor, and that neighbor is someone that probably you've never spoken to, you've never had a chat with. It just ends in greetings, good morning, good afternoon, how are you, and stuff like that. But I remember back then when we were growing up, when we talk about neighbors, these were people that you'd share food with. You'd go and eat at the neighbor's place, then the other kids will also come and eat at your place, just like that. There was that community type of life. And I think part of the reason why our ancestors coined this phrase is that they realized themselves that it takes a village to raise a child. And I'm not just talking about guidance and counseling here, but also looking out. As mothers, we have that sixth sense. And as a mother, you are always alert. You are always cautious of what your child is up to. And I think, in as much as we have that sixth sense, I think it can only do so much. It can only go so far. And because of that, we need the help of our neighbors and friends. You need as many eyes as you can have, in order for you to raise that child properly. For example, I remember when I was young, whenever your mother was out of sight or your other siblings were out of sight, there would always be these adults, the elderly in society, or your neighbors or whatever, who would always look out for you. Though back then, your mother would leave you by the neighbor's place. Oh, can you look after my child? I've gone into town. Or these elderly people would find you on the street. Maybe you're doing something which you're not supposed to do. You're doing something, maybe playing with something dangerous. They would quickly, right there and then, correct you, or send you back home. I think that motherhood is not something that you can do alone. So if you're out there trying to kill yourself, trying to be that superwoman, trying to live up to people's expectations, sis, you're wasting your time. It's high time that you started living your life. Life is now. Life is now. Like I mentioned, motherhood is a lifetime commitment. It's not something that will end at some point. It's not something that you would say, at some point in life, I'll get to have so much time. You have to juggle these things. You have to juggle being a mother, a wife, a friend, a sister, and just live life at the end of the day. And in conclusion, I just want to mention that as a society, we need to give more grace and credit to mothers, because it's not easy. Being a first-time mom, I've appreciated so many things about my parents, especially my mother, because I've now realized that, it's not easy raising a child. It's like you are guarding. It's like the work, the job of a security guard. And I don't mean like the Uncle Patrick type of security guard in Pali, that type of security guard that doesn't care. It's like you're a security guard. You are constantly guarding over this person's life, to ensure their safety, to ensure that they are catered for whatever that they need. And I think because of that, I've come to appreciate my mom a little bit more. I've come to understand God's love a little bit more because of my motherhood experience. So if this is something that relates to you, remember to like this video and also to drop me a comment down below. So thank you so much, guys, for your time. I really appreciate.